Yeah. I like a good thriller. I like an investigating plot. Okay. I like the ones where mainly, but I quite like detective shows more with like horror combined with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you've got like the police, but then you've also got the murderer sort of point of view. Have you ever seen Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
Oh yeah, that's
good.
good.
I mean, where you've got the two sides of the story. That's the kind of thing I like. I don't really like Saw, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's shit.
I'm not a fan of that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Like there's okay, hold on. Skip that bit. Okay. I don't really like when it's too gory, do you know what I mean? Because I don't find that interesting. I find that just gross, do you know what I mean? Whereas like psychological things are much more interesting.
More the imagination.
yes. You're gonna be heard as well. Yeah. That's it.
Great, thanks. What do you think's the appeal of psychological horror? Such as movies such as Black Swan and stuff like that.
I think there's aspects of, I don't know, in everyone's mind that, I don't know, that can come through in psychological films. Like, I don't know, like in The Black Swan, where she kind of wishes she was a bit more, I don't know, sexually kind of free, like the other character, Mia Khan's, I can't remember.
Mia Khan, yeah.
She kind of, there's all this kind of how people, I don't know, may want to come across but can't, and that's kind of explored in psychological thrillers.
Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Do you personally like psychological horror films?
Not particularly. I think they can be really, I don't know, I think like, I don't know.
Like The Skin I Live In was like a kind of thriller.
Yeah,
how did you yeah.
Well, like that, like The Skin I Live In and American Psycho, it can be really interesting aesthetically to look at because there's amazing, like, quite stylised and amazing settings.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that whole thing of they're always quite rich and have quite a lot of luxuries in their lives and live in like really nice apartments and stuff, but then there's a real kind of dark side to them, and it's almost like it's unexpected because you expect, I don't know, people with wealth and sophistication to be quite moral when actually they're complete psychos.
Yeah, because I've got like the combined element of fashion subconscious.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, cool. Okay, and what were your experiences filming my trailer?
I enjoyed it because it was quite fun dressing up and like doing the makeup of someone that's completely different to how you are. It's quite fun being a character that is so kind of, I don't know, different to yourself and quite, I don't know, you can like let loose and be crazy.
Okay, great, thank you. Find appealing about the genre of psychological horror?
I think psychological horror is a lot more effective than the gore and blood of things like, I don't know, like the Saw films or anything like that, because I think it's becoming too frequent in horror films, all the blood and guts hanging out, and I think psychological, it plays with your mind rather than what you see. It's all in the mind, and you can come out of the cinema or from watching the film and you feel like every little thing will remind you of that film, and it will be things like a noise in your house, and I think that's more effective than blood.
Cool. What kind of impact do you think music can have on psychological films or horror in general?
I think it definitely is a key aspect of psychological horror films, because you can show all the blood and guts, but without the right music, it could look comedy. You could add, I don't know, a certain instrument, and it would give it a completely different feel.
Yeah.
Like Scary Movie.
So what do you think is better as well? If you kind of got the kind of blood and gore being vividly demonstrated, or when there's more left to the imagination and you don't really see the kind of effects of a villain in terms of, you know, being gruesome.
When things are left to the imagination, because you can let your imagination run wild and you can take things in a different way to someone else.
Yeah.
I think you don't need to necessarily show blood all the time.
I would think it's a bit unrealistic, to be honest. Like when there's all this blood, like
exactly. Deaths aren't nearly the same as that.
Yeah. No, you can say something.
No, I was just saying, yeah, it's kind of unrealistic that things would... I mean, it's not because there are serial killers, but to have one so frequent and to be able to, like...
Get away with it for so long.
Yeah, which they do, but, you know, not as, like, high profile as... and they can be quite secretive and do it and hide the bodies, but if someone's on your case, like, you can't just...
Yeah.
It's not very realistic.
Yeah.
Psychological is more realistic.
I think it can appeal to more different kind of like audiences as well. Like with kind of gruesome, you've got this very kind of limited audience, whereas with psychological, it's more kind of...
because people can empathise with the characters, because everyone has, I don't know, is tormented by something at some point.
Yeah.
Whereas being crazy and just cutting people up, no one can really relate to that, to be honest, unless you're a crazy serial killer.
Yeah. Cool, well thanks guys.
That's a wrap.